asked who is playing the Champions League? Like, why can't Man U pay there? So let's talk about the ballers everybody have been talking about this week. Everybody's saying, oh, the Premier League is a boring league, and the Champions League has exposed the fact that Premier League is boring. So let's start by comparing the wingers in the Premier League, like the today's wingers versus the old era wingers. So do you think that these wingers now would they get a mention if they were playing in the era of prime Hazard, prime Salah, prime Mahrez?
Like I disagree with the statement that the Premier League is boring. The Premier League is one of the Premier League defensive system right now was what the Serie A was in the 90s. The
Mm-hmm.
Premier League right now is one of the most solid defensive system in Europe right now, and that was what Serie A was in those days. Whereby for to beat any Serie A team, then you have to score more than one goal against a Serie A team. You must be like you must be very 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 good. So if wingers are doing excellently well playing against, let's say Bayern Munich, the Olysses against PSG, but they couldn't do that against Arsenal. The same Olise couldn't do that against Arsenal. Timber locked him.
Was Olise fit when they played
Yeah, he
this?
played in the first round.
Yeah.
Timber locked him down completely. He didn't see any space to run into. But also too, the Bayern PSG wingers, PSG fullbacks, they always play high up. Hakimi and Mendes. We know they are not the best defensive fullbacks. They are more attacking fullbacks. And you will see the number of assist and goals Mendes and Hakimi score. So if you are judging Olise's excellent wing play because of Mendes and Hakimi, it's a very wrong. It's a very
Yes.
wrong matchup.
Yeah, I agree with you too.
For me, I'm just saying, like the wingers we have now, like if they were playing in the era of the Mahrez and Hazard, are we going to give them the mention? But to answer
Because
your question about Olise, I know that Olise is creative, like, and then again, he can two-footed player. Like for people who love smiling football, they're going to love Olise. But I know that if I'm building a defensive team, if I'm building a team that I need my wingers to track back, I'm probably not going to consider Olise. So
if
that's for me.
even the smiling football, Doku is a lot better than only say with smiling football when it comes to
I
taking on.
wouldn't no Doku
Mhm.
1v1.
Yeah, when it comes
Yeah.
to
I
taking
won't
on.
put, I won't put, I won't, I won't put
See,
Doku
You
in
know
that.
why? You know why I'm
nah,
saying
I
that.
won't put that.
You know why I would say that is this that
Doku wins it. But for creativity, nah, Olise
that's
is
what I'm saying, like
creative.
taking on fullback, because I did Olise wasn't taking on fullbacks in the Premier League when he was there. He
Well,
Yeah,
wasn't.
but he was
he goes
playing
to Premier
10
League
under
without
Glassman.
half the time.
And you so I think the first thing is that you have to look at that, like that Bayern game, that Bayern PSG game, or PSG Bayern. You have to take it out of the
Out
equation
of this,
because that game is. I know people are saying that defending was bad, but I don't think defending was bad. I think it was the
they didn't
tactics
plan to
that the
defend.
managers,
They
yeah,
both didn't
that
plan to defend.
the managers engineered situations where they could always be 1v1 against any defender. Like
Defender.
if you go and look at Cavara's first goal, if you see the movement that he does, like
They brought the fullback in.
yeah, bro, they still went again, did it again. So Due that's supposed to be on the other side is the one who actually comes to his side to come and play. So the rotation and the movement
Yeah,
always meant that there was always a both teams just basically kept engineering ways of like let their wingers just be attacking only one
their
defender.
fullbacks as well too were
Yeah,
involved
but
in the attack.
Premier League, most teams double up against
Against
wingers like that.
wingers.
Most teams double up against they always double up against Doku. So Pep tries to engineer a system by making Rico Lewis move infield so that at least he can drag somebody away and create space. But
Same with
not
Saka.
every
Same
team.
with Saka. Saka plays against a double up. They
Yeah,
double up on Saka.
Saka
Like
always plays against double up
if
always.
you leave Saka 1-on-1, you are finished. Like what happened
Yeah.
yesterday? You are
This
finished.
But
wasn't the
again,
main
to answer your question, Hazard they used to double up against
No,
Hazard.
Hazard for me is like
Hazard will still
and
showcase
Hazard
that
didn't
he's the
Hazard,
caller.
Hazard as well didn't really play wing. Hazard was like this free role player that you
this
see
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
he exploits space.
Mm-hmm.
This Mahrez too was another winger
Oh,
in those
Mahrez is a
days.
baller.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
Mario was the
So,
baller
so,
too.
so that's what I'm asking. Like all these guys, they were consistently good, and they used to change games. The wingers we have now in the Premier League, can we compare them to the Hazards and the Mahrez of those
No,
days?
you can't compare them.
You
The
can't
thing is
compare, but
that
it's
no,
hard.
you can't compare them. The problem is that you see, because I feel that because there's so much money now in the Premier League, there's a lot to lose. So teams are doing everything to stay in the Premier League. So teams now are so like think about it this way. How many years ago would you think that a coach that is coaching Crystal Palace could be in prime position to coach Chelsea or Man U? Those
No.
conversations were not happening before. You don't get coaches in the lower 10
Yeah.
leagues. But
Mm-hmm.
You have
now
to go and win something somewhere before
the
you come
quality
and
of the coaches in
set
the
yourself.
Premier League is so good that it's like any one of them could coach any of the top five team. At least at least I would say maybe another outside the top. Right now, Iraola could coach any of the top teams easily.
Right.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
Arsenal as well too. Even this guy Nottingham Forest.
Mm.
This guy Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's he can do
Pereira.
right now?
yeah. So the
Pereira,
quality
yeah.
of the coaching is so good that which you don't find in Spain, in Italy, and in France right now. There's like concentration of just very good players in like the top one or two teams, and the rest are just badly average. Look
Well,
at
you talk from quality, but again, do you think the Premier League is a bit too tactical and like in the
Yeah,
Premier
it's way too strong. That's what that game showed
it
us.
is.
Like
Yeah, then
I feel like the lesson everybody should take from that game is that just let your wingers cook. Let's go back to enjoyable football, not this structured thing of because if you take the difference between that game and the Arsenal Atletico game next this thing, where nobody wants to take risk. It's all let's be patient, let's probe, let's see. But these guys were
that's
taking
what
every
I was
part of the risk.
trying to
This thing
get.
was a risk.
Managers in the Premier League are obsessed. Most of the managers are obsessed with structure over flair. And I think when we talk about this argument, that's just it.
No,
Like
no,
people
but
love
I
chaos.
agree with I agree with you
Yeah,
because
but the
so
manager who used to take risk
Mike,
finished 17th.
Mike,
They
let me
won Europa League. So
exactly.
nobody will really everybody will look at it like but my structure carry me to 10. Let me just be managing my
Mike,
structure and be
let me ask
going.
you one question.
And are you talking
Mike,
about Big Ange?
Big Andra.
Mike, let me ask you one question.
Mate,
You
mate,
think that the first leg of Arsenal Atletico Madrid, imagine that one of them won 2-0. Do you think that that game would do you think that there's a game left to play in the second leg?
Yes,
I'm
I
saying
actually do.
imagine that Diego Simone won 2-0 or Ateta
Yeah.
won 2-0. What do you think will happen in the second leg?
I'll
Yes,
go and attack
they
now.
will go and
Mike,
they will
what do you
lock
think will
down
happen in
at
the
the
second
third.
leg?
They will lock down at the third, but
I'm
there's still a
saying
game
that
to play.
think about this from use Mourinho's brain. What do you think will happen in the
Mm-hmm.
second leg?
Yes,
I
no,
don't
the
know.
first thing I scored 2 goals
It's
with
six
Spain,
six
and
four
it's
zero.
really go and
It will be
attack.
a lockdown. It will be a
It's
lockdown
6-0.
for so
You see double
that's
decker
the reason why
boss.
both of them that's why both of them played like that. They know themselves that whoever takes a lead in this first leg,
Yeah.
nothing will happen in the second leg. Nothing.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't
Can
think
we
but
I
again,
now
like
think
I
there's
said,
more to
that
think
the
that
game was the kind of game that we grew up. Like that's the kind of football me I love. Like all my
but
favorite
there's more
players are
money
like
now in football.
Ronaldinho,
There's
Hazard,
more money in
players that
football.
showcase like I won't die you. I just the watch ball, the watch ball. I just smiling. My seat was off the air. Then I kept to watch Arsenal
But you know,
Atletico
someone
Madrid.
even did an analysis and said that there were more shots, more pass into the
Atletico had
half.
like 17
Atletico
shots.
Madrid Arsenal game than PSG Bayern game. That there were more
Oh,
chances created in the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game than the Bayern PSG.
Chances created, but then Atletico had
I'm
17
serious.
shots. 17 shots.
how I can barely remember chances. Like, basically, that game went one way. Like Arsenal are a very good defensive team. I'm not going to lie because Atletico came out in that game and they were
Very easy.
actually attacking.
Yeah, 17
But
shots.
it's fatigue. I feel like Arsenal is fatigued because all of a sudden you lost your structure in the second half in a way.
Yeah,
It was now
Odegaard got
Atletico just
injured,
bombarding.
was pulled out,
Yes,
and once
I
we
feel like it's fatigue.
Arsenal is midfield. Once the midfield collapses, there's always a much
Mm,
more.
it's fatigue. You
Okay,
guys
so
are fatigued.
let me take you to one thing. So yesterday, Atletico Madrid played with 11 players that are not going to play on Tuesday, and they still won
Rescue players.
2-0. Tell me a team in the Premier League that can do that and win comfortably 2-0.
Well, not comfortably,
Keeper was
but
benched, 11
Man
players,
City,
starting
Pep is
10.
always trying it, but
That's
it's never working out for him this
yeah,
season.
Arsenal, maybe.
What's it?
Who?
I'm saying that even if
Maybe.
I don't think
I
anybody
don't think
can.
so.
I don't think anybody can.
You bench your old team like
Mm,
these are teenagers, not even you're not even
yeah,
Chelsea did it last season now with our team B.
no, you have a
yeah,
team B. Team
but
B,
Europa Conference League team.
but you seriously, Shay, your team B is not your team B is even team B. This is like teenagers, like these are like academy players, and they
Mm,
still want 2-0 in the Premier League. Man City cannot line up like that against Forest, and they will not draw that
Good.
game at
So
best.
good.
mm.
It just shows you the quality of both leagues. That's where I'm going to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. The Premier
So
League is very, very competitive. It's way too
Too
competitive, and
competitive.
that makes it way too structured because it's now marginal football you have to
This
play.
marginal football, the
Yeah, which is the
difference
problem I have. Like, I just wish all the managers would just watch that
I
game and
do
say,
agree
you know
with
what?
you guys,
Let's just attack.
yeah.
but I agree with you guys, but I still think the coaching in the Premier League is killing the creativity of the players.
No, it's not the coaching. It's what you are faced with. So you have to coach to what you are faced with.
Because like, another example is like Dauman. Now we can see like Dauman is the kind of player everybody wants to watch. But I think that guy is going to be coached into being very
Okay, so
pragmatic.
let me now tell you
What,
Dalman.
what he wants to do.
Let me tell you Dalman yesterday. We could have scored a fourth goal yesterday. That Dalman run, he had taken on two players already. He had caught it well. Madueke was standing alone, waiting for a pass. But Dalman even went to apologize to him after he shot the ball. The coach will be telling the 16-year-old that, are you all right? Next time, you
That's
have
the
done the excellent job. You are not in a good position to shoot, but you have drawn three players to yourself. Just lay a pass to Maduke. Maduke shoots with first touch. So those are the margins. Those are the small margins that you can't. The Premier League is so competitive that
Yeah, but that's Shay's point right there. Like,
it's so
you cannot
competitive.
imagine them telling Cavara or Due, for example, or Bakula, like, oh, you're in that position, pass to Dembele. They will tell them, just shoot. Just
Mhm.
shoot. That's the difference.
But you know as well too that PSG knows that even if they are poor, they will win the league. So it's a different thing entirely.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They know even if they are poor, they will win the league.
yeah.
In the Premier League, the margins are so small that is maybe it's just 2-3 games between you doing well. 3 games can decide your
Yeah.
fate completely in the Premier League. 3 games
Imagine 20th position Wolves are not won any game coming to collect points against Arsenal.
from Man
My
City.
head, and since then, now they are still dropping points up
And
and down everywhere to
they
everybody.
drew with Sunderland. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
with all that.
Imagine Burnley that has relegated. Man City struggled to score only one goal,
Only one.
and they could not. So
true.
those things don't happen in the Bundesliga. It doesn't happen in the French league. You can go to play the French league and relax and still win a game without moving out of game one. Premier League, you will run your life out.
So now that we're talking about this league goals, another stat I saw this week, and I don't, please correct me if I'm wrong. Kane, Olise, and Diaz, they've all together they've scored 100 goals. Is that true?
More than now.
More than
Okay, more
100
than
goals now.
100 goals.
More than 100 now.
And then I just thought of, okay, we've talked about the league, talked about creativity, talked about margin of error. But